Hello, how are you today? This is Joanne Hewins with lovetocreate.typepad.com. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Let me adjust a few things. Looks like my camera is further away than usual. Okay. Well, hi, Tina. I see you got home. Tina and I had lunch together today. It was very fun. We hadn't seen each other. Well, we did see each other about a week or two ago, but before that, it had been a very long time. So good to begin seeing other people again. So, I'm going to take a little time before we actually get started to talk to you about our two new catalogs. These catalogs went live yesterday, and up until today or yesterday, we could not open these catalogs and show them to you. I'm not going to go through both of them, but I am going to go through the Celebration catalog just quickly and talk to you about some of those products. I have all of them, so I can tell you I should have gotten them together to show you live, but I didn't want to take too much time. So the first one here is the Bedazzling paper, and this is a 6x6 pack of, let's see, 8 sheets. What I want to tell you about this paper, it's really pretty. I'm not a sparkly kind of person, so it's not my favorite, but I want to let you know that this paper is kind of thick, and you can use it with punches and you can use it with your dies, but I'm afraid that it might dull them a little quicker than maybe normal. So I see here they've cut it with dies in the picture. They've cut snowflakes with it. But just a little warning, I think it might dull some blades a little bit quicker. So one other thing that I can tell you about this paper is that you can color it with blends. So you can make it different colors. On the next page, we have some new designer series paper that has lots of penguins and stuff like that on it. Next week for the live, I'm going to make a card. It's a fun fold card with the penguins, and it's really cute. I worked on this yesterday, so I'm excited about it. And I didn't really do a lot of stamping except with the words, but I did use my punch to punch out. Some of the penguins can be punched with the penguin punch. And then I cut a lot of stuff out with the paper for my card. All right. Moving along, this is one I just got in the mail just a few minutes ago. It's called Feels Like Home. I don't know so much what to do with that. I have seen a couple of pretty samples, and I will be working on that. I know that you could color it. To be honest, I'm not that excited about coloring it, so we'll see what we can work out with that. And then on this side is some beautiful paper. I think I maybe showed this to you last week, or yeah, when we did the puffin card. I used this wavy piece right here. Remember, we colored it with our blending brush. All right, and then here's another pack of paper. Some of these reindeer can be punched with a reindeer punch, depending if they're facing in the right direction. But this is good Christmas paper, good Christmas colors, and I think you would love it. I think it's really pretty. And then these are the cute cards, or the cute stamp set is the Counting Sheep. And you can get the Counting Sheep with a $50 purchase. You can also get the dies with a $50 purchase. So for $100, you could get these two for free. And I have a really cute card that I've made with that I'll show at another time. We're going to be making it in class tomorrow with my in-person class here. I have a card on my blog. Well, actually, yesterday it was a new post, but it's on there still today. Using this stamp and kind of this idea. And I'd like for you to look that up, if you would, at lovetocreate.typepad.com. And I also used on the same card these dies that go with, they're called Summer Shadows dies, but they go with the shaded summer stamp set. So take a look at that, if you would. It's a cute card, I thought. I just got these delicate dahlias. I had told myself I did not need this stamp set, but after looking at samples that people had made, I knew that I had to have it. So I'm thinking next week we're going to be doing something with Playful Penguins, and maybe the week after we'll do something with the Delicate Dahlias. And then for anyone who has an order of 300 or more, you can earn this stamp set for free as well. So let me remind you, if you're a customer and you're ordering online, they're doing things a little bit differently this time, and you will be asked at checkout to select your celebration items then. So if you're getting ready to check out and you're thinking, wait a minute, I haven't picked them, just be patient and it will come up. And I know for the demonstrator order, for this stamp set, it came up and told me that I had not put that in my order yet, and it even had the number right there for it. So I found that helpful, and hopefully they'll do something like that for someone checking out online. So today, I'm going to open this book to page 36. And this is the Peaceful Place Suite. It has a stamp set, Peaceful Cabin with dies. The dies are called cabin dies. And we're also going to be using today these Subtle Shimmer Sequins. And we're going to be using this paper, the Peaceful Place Designer Series paper. So, let's get started. Oh, let me remind you too that look at these samples. They're just so pretty. And there's actually a few more samples on the next page for you to see. This is takes up a couple of pages, 36 through 38. So let me move this out of the way. And I'm going to bring in the Peaceful Place Designer Series paper. Now, this paper is a specialty paper, and it is in the U.S., it's $15. And you can see the glare there, or the shine, not the glare, the shine there of the silver that's part of this paper. Now, this one is one that you would cut down the center, and you could make several cards. They've got white down here for your saying, or whatever you would like to do down there. Here's the flip side of that. I like that subtle lines there. Some of this has been used. So here's one that's almost like a scene. This would be great for a scrapbook page. And then here's a good background piece that you can use. I like those kinds of pieces. Okay, here is a check background. In fact, I had something on my blog this week, I think it was this past Monday, using this as a background. And here's a nice little star snowflake background with some of the shimmer in there. And look at this. This looks like a wood, though, with the shimmer. And I have to say, I am particularly drawn to this right here. We'll have to do something neat with that. Here are just trees. A snowy scene. And then here's a nice speckled piece that goes with that. But the piece that we, and then here is one with lots of different kinds of cabins on there. The piece that we're going to use is this one. So I'm going to put the rest of this paper out of the way. And I'm going to talk to you. I don't think I've ever seen Stampin' Up! Do a paper like this before. They have already taken this scene, it's repeated, and there's a subtle line through here and here so that you can cut this paper into one 6x6 or into a 6x6. So technically you could get 4 from one sheet of paper, or from a pack of paper, you could get 8 of these. So I'm going to show you something to do with this today. Maybe you could use this for Christmas presents. But I thought it turned out really cute. And this piece I've already cut. So it is 6x6. So let me bring in the frame that we're going to make today and show you what it looks like. This is pretty simple. I was very excited about how it turned out. And I'm going to show you how I made this today. I'm trying to see if there's glare, and it's not too bad with that. So this was a frame that I've actually had in my cabinet for quite a while. And it was originally from Michaels. And I'm assuming that Michaels would still make these, but I've told you I haven't been in a store like Michaels or Hobby Lobby or any of those in probably over a year. So I'm not sure if they have them or not. It's a display box. So anyway, I'm going to turn it over. And I didn't close it very well because I wanted to pull out the picture. Now this has kind of a spongy like background, so if you were going to display something, it would look nice on that. And I don't know, I might try to tear that part off. I'm just not sure I need it. And then I'm going to pull out our, actually, hold on. I'm going to pull out our frame that I made. I didn't realize it was quite that close. Okay, so I'm going to set the frame aside. And we're going to work on this part of the frame. So I hope you like this, and I hope I remember how I did it. And we'll go ahead and get started. It's kind of sometimes hard to recreate something. I worked on this about a week ago, and so I just hope I remember. Now on some of the specialty papers, it has a thick cardboard background to it, and so that's what I have used. I took one of those really thick ones and I cut it into a 6x6 piece. I used my old guillotine cutter to do that, and I'm not so sure you could do it with the regular Stampin' Up! Cutter that they have now. But anyway, that's what I used. And I'm going to move that out of the way as well. And before I adhere this to the back of this, I'm going to do my stamping. And this saying is from, well, let me pull in the stamp set that we're going to use. This is the Peaceful Cabin stamp set. This is the saying that we're going to use. May you enjoy the peace of this beautiful season. And then this is the dies, the cabin dies that we're going to use. And I'm going to go ahead and cut the stuff online with you today instead of having it cut ahead of time. So there's not that much to do, really. So I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus. And I hope that I have that situated where I want it. I'm sorry, my husband's out in the hallway talking on the phone. So we're expecting our daughter might drop by today. Okay, I think that's probably an okay position for that. I tried to put it on top of where I had it before. And I'm going to be using Memento Black. I've got that pushed up into the corner. And we will stamp and I'm going to bring in my little hockey puck here. And I'm going to ink that again because I want it to be good and dark. Okay, you think that's dark enough? I think it's okay. So I'm going to take my paper out. And I'll get that out of the way. And then I'm just going to, let me close up my ink, add this to the backing here. And I'm just going to use, I think, my seal that I have. Glue would work as well. I think glue is what I used for the original. Excuse me a minute. Sorry, I am chewing a cough drop, so hopefully I'll be all right. My throat's just dry. Okay, so I went around the edges, and I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit in the center here. And then we'll try to line this up across the top. And then just lay that down. I see that it's sticking out a little bit here, and I can just, let me just go ahead and trim that a little bit. This probably will shake the table. Okay. So there we go with that. So I'm going to work on making my trees back here. And I made those by stamping on a piece of white. I'm trying to figure out what's what. So this is going to be a piece here. This is going to be my piece for the cabin. So I'm going to use this piece to stamp my trees. Okay. And I'm going to use Evening Evergreen to stamp those. And what I'm going to stamp is a group of 3 trees. Oops, I hope I don't get that. It's a little heavy-handed there. A group of 3 trees. I am cutting these out, so it'll be all right. And then I'm going to do a group of 2 trees. So I'm actually going to just come over here and do the 2 trees there. So you can see that it's from the 3 tree, but I just did 2. Now I'm going to use the dies with this that cut the little holes in there. But I'm also going to cut around the outside. So I figured out that it would be really good if I use some of my adhesive strips or adhesive. I got a little bit of black right there, I see. Sorry about that. So I'm going to put this on my paper. Now, I really love using the adhesive sheets. This is what I have left. And today I got a box, and in my box I got a whole new pack. I'm so excited. These come in a 12 pack, and they are 6 by 12. So that's a lot of adhesive sheets. So let me move these out of the way and take that off. So I'm just going to put that on the back, oops, of where I stamped. Now the only thing about these adhesive sheets is that I do end up getting it on my fingers, and it rubs off pretty easily. But I do have a trash can right beside of me that I am putting those little yuckies in. Okay, so I've got this ready to cut out. And I think I'll go ahead and get my cabin ready to cut out. So I can cut most of this at one time. So I'm going to bring in the stamp with the cabin. But when I put my paper here, can you see how much wider that paper is than the background? So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of the gray to this paper. Now the trees, it really isn't going to make much of a difference. So I'm going to get my blending brush, and I'm just going to lightly blend in just a little bit of gray. That might be a little heavier than I meant. A little heavier than the first one I did, for sure. But I just want it to maybe blend in a little bit better. It's still not going to be the same color. It might blend in a little. And I'm going to do the same for this little strip that I have right here. I didn't use this strip on the other one. But you know how when you get something done and you start thinking about, well, what if I had done this? What about this? So I wanted to try something else, and we'll see. We'll see how it looks. So I'm going to get this out of the way. I'll bring back in the memento. And this is going to be the paper that goes right in here. So I want to figure out where I want my cabin to go. And I think I want it to go about right in there. So I'm going to try to keep that eyeballed. And we'll go ahead and ink up the cabin. And I think I had it about like that. Isn't that pretty? It's just really nice. Okay. And then I'm going to do some fence. You can see I've got a fence there. I might change that a little bit. Okay, I don't know how that looks. I couldn't really figure out how to get that hooked together so well. I think I'll just spit on that. And now I'm going to bring in, on this tiny piece, I'm going to bring in this fox. And I'm going to put it right in there. And I think that we might be ready to cut. Now I'm going to also cut some trees from this evergreen, evening evergreen. So I'm going to take all of these pieces and bring in my cut and emboss machine. Okay. So, move that back out of the way. You can't see that, but I had something there. And I'm going to add my house here. And I'm going to bring in this die. And it's going to go here. Now it isn't going to cut all the way across, but we will, we'll just cut it with scissors. So I'm going to add some tape there. And maybe there. And that tape is going over on the part that I'm going to cut away. Okay, let me put my top plate on. So I've got the base plate, and then I've got the thin adapter plate, and then the two clear plates. Okay. And you can see that these are coming apart. I'm going to just pull that off. Oops. And we'll just put that there. I can use it again. And then for the rest of this, I'm just going to cut, I think I'm just going to cut it kind of like that. And I think that will be fine. So I'm cutting away this, and this is the part that I'm going to use on my frame. So now I'm going to do something I didn't do before. Okay, well, I'm seeing a problem here. I got some of the black on there. Seeing how much of that I can cut off. Okay, I'm not so sure that I think this is a good idea. We'll work on that again in a little bit. I might have to pull everything back in. So for these, I'm going to use these dies to cut around the trees here. Now remember, under there I've got the adhesive sheet. So I'm going to pull that off. And I'm going to come over here. Let me just tear that off. I'm going to come over here and get these trees. All right. And then what I'm going to do is use these little kind of holy looking things to cut out the insides of the trees. So we'll start off with just these. And I think I'm going to just go in and out on that. And then we'll turn this around. You see the little holes that we cut? And we'll put this here, and the smaller one we'll put here. Oh, hi Debbie, how are you? All right, and now I'm going to cut some of the same shapes from this paper. And all I want is to make sure I've got something that will go back behind those others. So this is Evening Evergreen. And then I'm going to turn it around and let me just cut that off. Does it look like I'm making a mess? I might be. Okay, I'm going to turn this way, and I just need the two trees. So Debbie, we're making a frame using the Peaceful Place Designer Series paper. And it really is a pretty set if you were looking at it. I'm going to move this out of the way. We may have to bring it back in a little bit. We'll just see what it is we end up wanting to do. So, what I'm going to do is put these trees on the white trees on the green piece. Okay, so I'm going to just cut this on across here. And this. It does look like I'm making a mess, doesn't it? Maybe we'll make some sense of this. And I'm going to pull off. Now I had hoped that these holes would come out, and they did not. So I'm going to just kind of push them out of the way, because I want the holes. And that's probably because I did not get the extra paper that was left in my dies out. I have a love-hate relationship with the adhesive sheets. Right now, it might just be a highly irritated. Okay. And if it goes back there on those pieces, it really doesn't matter because they'll be covered up. Oops. Okay. Well, and what I'm going to do is just lay this on here and match them up. All right, that doesn't look too bad. So there's those trees. And then we're going to do the same over here. Now these should do better because they were the first ones I did. So what you want to do is when you cut, you're going to end up having some little extra pieces stuck in there. And it's best to go ahead and get those out before you cut again. It's going to do better if you do that. Okay, and I am just going to kind of cut across here because I can use this piece again. Okay, let's see how this one does. Okay, it got out some of those pieces. But not all. So I'll do kind of the same thing. I'll just kind of punch and get out what I can. I really thought that would work. And we'll do the same thing here. And we'll just match that up. Now don't worry about this bottom pieces because they are going to be, try and get that out of the way. There we go. They're going to be covered up by the house. So let me find my house piece. And the trees are going to be behind the house. So let me bring in my original frame. And we'll look at that. And we'll look at it on top of our piece of paper here. So this will be going about like that. I've got some extra that I can cut off because I really might want to move the house over a little bit more. This gives me a little room to figure that out. And then my trees, I think, can kind of go like that. And then these trees can go okay. I'm going to cut some of this extra off. And I think we're going to need to cut off some of this extra as well. Okay. So I think this will look good about there. These trees we'll put there. I'm looking at this opening right here. I don't want that to be closed with landscape. And then these trees we'll put right in there. I think that'll be okay. We'll straighten them up a little and put those right in there. What you think? Okay, now I'm going to put a little glue dot. Try to remember, I had come up with an idea of how I thought this would be easier to put together. It has left me. What I'm going to do is put a little glue dot there and a little glue dot in there. Oops. And I'm going to take this and turn it over, and I'm going to put a lot of dimensionals here on the trees. It's okay to use a lot. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and take the tops off of these. They might have moved a little from what I wanted them to start with, but that still looks okay. And I'm going to lay this even with the bottom here and push my trees down. Okay. Now that wasn't the way I was going to do it, but it'll work. So under here, where I want my ground to be, I'm going to put glue dots under there. But I want the ground to be a little bit higher than the other. So what I'm going to do is put 2 layers of dimensionals here. And I'm just throwing my garbage all over here on the side. I'll get it later. So I'm going to put another set of dimensionals here. I want to be friends with the adhesive sheets, Tina, but like you say, they don't always like me. They really are a good idea. And sometimes you'll pull those apart and all those little pieces will come. And then other times, I just have a hard time. And of course, most of that's when I'm doing a Facebook Live. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull these off. This is my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to push this down. And now I'm going to kind of go up here where I put those glue dots down. And I'm going to pry them up a little. And it did tear just a little under there, but it's okay because I'm going to cover it all back up again. And I'm going to put some dimensionals back behind the house. I might be going about this just the hardest way. And if you have a better way, then of course do it your way. Okay. And now this goes down. And we've got the layers now. So I'm going to take my scissors and turn this over and just clip that. Even with the side. Okay. Now, so you can see it kind of looks like what this one did to this one and this one look a lot alike. Now my idea was, and I'm going to bring in this other little piece of paper here. My idea was that instead of having that little fox like that I could do another layer down here. But I really think I probably needed to do my fence up a little higher or not have the fence. So I think what I'm going to do is just bring in my memento and just add a fox. Now, mind you, I'm adding this on top of dimensionals, and that's probably not a smart move. Yeah, it just doesn't look as good, and I'm not ever going to match that up again, so I'm just going to leave it. Okay, so if you're going to do the fox, don't do it on top of your dimensionals. All right, so now I'm going to add some of the Subtle Shimmer Sequins. And I can put those wherever I want. These come in 2 sizes and several colors, or 2 colors, kind of a soft silver kind of look. And let me start off by seeing how these will do on a glue dot. On my original, no, the glue dots are too big. On my original, I just glued. So that's what we're going to do with this one as well. And of course, I've got a glue dot on my finger. There we go. Just stick that down on a scrap piece. And what I'm going to do is add some glue here and there on my piece. I'm going to put a little piece there, a little dot there where I've got some black. And then we'll just put some around. I don't want a big blob, just some little blobs. I can put something on a tree. I just need to remember where I put them. I can even, let's put these, and then we'll see how much, if we want to add something else. Okay, so it might be kind of hard for me to see where my glue dots are. Or not glue dots, but glue, dots of glue. I guess I do mean that. And of course it'll take a few minutes to dry. So you can see this really didn't take very long to get this the way we wanted it. So it might be a nice little Christmas gift that you could fix someone. Like I said, some of these are a little smaller than others. And I am trying to use my Take Your Pick tool to help me pick up. It has that little sticky stuff there that will hold up. Just trying to see where I would have put some of the little glue. I don't feel anything that's sticky, maybe right here. Okay, so what are you thinking? Okay. So you could probably add more of those if you wanted to. Hold on just a moment. I want to try to get these in my container without spilling them. Okay, so that's pretty much what I had done with the original. And then, of course, it's just going to fit back into the frame. This frame just goes a little bit, so it would fit right in there. And, well, and of course, I just didn't pay attention to where the hanger was, so that would need to be turned around. But anyway, it's just kind of an easy little thing that you can do right with the Designer Series paper that they have. Let me show you again how that paper is just divided into the 4 boxes of 6x6. And all I did was add my cabin and my trees and a saying and some sequins, and hey, it's done. So, thank you so much. Again, we were using the Peaceful Cabin the Peaceful Cabin stamp set and the cabin dies. I've got a mess of the dies right now, but the cabin dies. And made this little frame, which could be a great little Christmas gift. So thank you so much today. Hello, Beth. How are you? Good to see you. If you need any supplies, please go to lovetocreate.typepad.com, and I would be so happy to help you. You can find my online store from there. Remember that a second celebration is going on now. So there are free items that you can choose with a purchase of $50 or of $100. The $100 ones are the dahlias and the Summer Shadows dies. Everything else is with a $50 purchase. So jump in on the bandwagon and get some free items and get some things to help you get started with Christmas gifts. Coming up, it'll be here before you know it. Thanks so much. Appreciate you joining me today. And go stamp something. Go have fun. Bye-bye.